Nehabhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Nehabhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Nehabhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Om. How did you all do? Would anyone like to chant this audibly? Oh, okay.
I feel like I'd like to just maybe we could go through it a couple more times.
Does everybody else feel that way?
Just
okay, let's
couple more times.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Om Nehabhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Nehabhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Nehabhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Trayate mahato bhayat. Comments, requests?
Well, it's very beautiful. Like it flows, it just feels, I don't know, maybe it just feels more accessible than others.
And I'm sure you all noticed that it's a, for those of you who've been doing this for a while, it's a different melody from the ones we did before. Mm-hmm. It's kind of more Vedic-y. It's more ritual-like.
But it's not Vedic. But that's just a melody?
Yes. Yeah. It's just, and sometimes people prefer that. Certainly the various melodies that we can put with the Bhagavad Gita and other classical Sanskrit verses, a particular melody will give us access to a particular emotion or feeling, to be sure. I'm looking for a page that I printed out. Would you like to do it again?
I thought it was soothing. I would like to do it again. Very soothing.
Okay, let's do this again. Om Neha Bhikramanashosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat Neha Bhikramanashosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat Neha Bhikramanashosti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Should we try the other? Did everyone get the handout for the one I just sent? I don't know if you, Karen's got it. So it's chapter
29.
29.
Yeah.
We'll do a different melody just to mix things up. Sorry, I'm having a senior moment. Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshinaha. Pardon me. We'll do that again. Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. So we'll break that down. Sarvabhutastamatmanam 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 Sarvabhutani Chatmani Sarvabhutani Chatmani Sarvabhutani Chatmani. I'll put those two lines together. Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha Sarvatra Samadarshanaha Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Are we okay? Are we ready to put them all together? Om Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha Sarvatra Samadarshanaha.
Leslie, I wonder if you could do, maybe not the whole thing, but you know, sometimes you do these word by word breakdowns that just enhance my feeling, like that, what do you call that word for the feeling? The, with a B, the
Bhavana, perhaps?
yeah, that, both. And I do think I recognize this word, darshana, which is like a mirror, right?
Yes, darshana, sight.
Or
Sight. Yeah.
so viewing, like, is that's when you're like in the presence of a master and you're viewing the enlightened mind?
Yes. That's what's meant here for sure. He who is disciplined by yoga sees what? Sees the self with a capital S, present in all beings, and all beings present in the self. He sees the same self at all times. So the realized person sees the sameness in all of us. And I ran out of time when I was typing this out, but in this Winthrop Sargent translation, at the bottom, he clarifies the term samadarshana. He says, samadarshana, sama means the same sight, same seeing, yeah, equal. Samadarshana has a special meaning which the words seeing the same scarcely convey. The Atmans, or selves, of all creatures are conceived to be the same once they have been separated from the material nature with which they are temporarily conjoined in life. So it sounds like our prakriti selves, ourselves as we know ourselves in life. And then he says, a person who has brought his Atman into yoga will see similarity in all Atmans when separated from Prakriti, so I guess, I'm thinking of death. That's when we're separated from Prakriti, but I think he means something different. He will see that all beings are in his own Atman. In other words, he will see that his own Atman has the same form as the Atmans of all other beings, and contrary-wise, so that he has seen all that is Atman, so that he has seen all that is Atman when he has seen one Atman. We are all the same. We are all in one and one in all. And in light of hearing about all the stressful events going on now in St. Louis, as well as Minneapolis and New York City, and probably every city, Norwalk, Connecticut, at least we can try to embody this verse. We as aspiring yoginis can at least try. We can't change the world, but yoga says we can change ourselves. Are there any other questions on that, or any other additions to any contributions that you would like? And I'll bring the melody in. Sarva bhutastamat, just that. Sarva bhutastamat. Then I'll add another syllable. Sarva bhutastamatma. Sarva bhutastamatma. Sarva bhutastamatma. And then we add the nam. Sarva bhutastamatmanam. Two more times. Sarva bhutastamatmanam. Sarva bhutastamatmanam. Then the next line, and we have to marry the ni with the cha. So I'll just go to that. I'll just do it through cha. Sarva bhutani cha. Sarva bhutani cha. And then I'll add the tmani. Sarva bhutani cha tmani. Two more times. Sarva bhutani cha tmani. Sarva bhutani cha tmani. I acknowledge this is a mouthful. Let's put those two lines together. Is this working for you? Okay. Slowly, the first two lines. Om. Sarva bhutastamatmanam. Sarva bhutani chatmani. Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani. How's it coming? Okay, now we'll do the last two lines. Oh, but we didn't isolate. We'll isolate the third line. I love ikshate. Ikshate means he sees, he observes, or she sees, she observes. Ikshate yoga yuk, just that far. Ikshate yoga yuk. And then I'll isolate yuktatma for a moment. Yuktatma. Oh, those compound consonants. Yuktatma. We'll put the line together and see what happens. Ikshate yoga yuktatma. Two more times. Ikshate yoga yuktatma. Ikshate yoga yuktatma. Then finally, so how are you doing well? Sarvatra samadarshanaha. Sarvatra samadarshanaha. Sarvatra samadarshanaha. I often get the feeling that I'm on a roller coaster. You know how the roller coasters at the carnival? So they were going up the slope on Sarvat, but then once we get the tra, we're at the top, and then we used to go zooming down. Sarvatra samadarshanaha. It really is like that, isn't it? It's like, yeah. So let's chant the whole verse again. Once slowly, and the second time we'll pick up the pace. Om Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate yoga yuktatma Sarvatra samadarshanaha. Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate yoga yuktatma Sarvatra samadarshanaha. How did you do? Were you brilliant? Love to hear comments, love to hear things.
I have to say, Leslie, those two verses today, I don't know if it's just everything in the air. Somebody, I don't know if it was you, Barbara, were saying that it felt like comforting. Like there's just like, I don't know, they don't feel overwhelming. I mean, they're still challenging, as it always is, but not like, oh, I can't do this. And it feels like just with the melodies of them, I don't know, it feels very healing. So
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
the first one we did, Nehabhi, just a little bit of effort. That's all we need to do. I was hoping that, even if we don't pay attention to the news, I think there's agitation that we're going to start feeling, no matter how much or how little we learn about what's going on. And so I was seeking out a verse today, in addition to the Nehabhi one, which is also comforting. I just wanted us to have those. And you're right. When it's just challenging enough, it demands our focus. And when we have our focus on something, it's just like in asana, especially if we're learning a new asana, we're yoking our mind to something.
Mhm.
And that gives us some stability in our emotion and in our nervous system.
Right.
Whereas you were right, if it were too much, if I threw too much at you and it was too difficult, it would just add to the hopelessness that we're feeling. And so
Right.
you have to find that balance.
Right. Well, going back to 2 weeks ago with the Ayur mantra, right? And how it's saying that it's for your stability, the holistic health, clarity, and stability.
Yeah.
And how you were also adding on to that the Vedic chanting, enables the stability rather than, calms the emotion by
Yeah.
being that, bum, 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 three
Yeah.
tones and 5 mouth positions.
All that yucky
That's what it comes down to. 3 tones and 5 mouth positions.
You got it. You got it. And if you're unsure of what a mouth position is, just fake it.
Right.
But don't tell my teachers I said that. Elizabeth, don't tattle on me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that I think I like these passages because they kind of remind us why we do the yoga practices, and it's nice to be reminded because you do get caught up in, maybe perfecting the pronunciation or the asana or whatever it is, but it reminds me of something Val used to say sometimes in class, that when you practice yoga, you not only practice for yourself, but for the entirety of human consciousness, so that when you do these practices, you are helping in some way. And it's not just something done for yourself, it's done for.
Yeah, it doesn't stop with us. Yeah, and it's one of my colleagues and teachers, Janice Veen. Karen, I'm sure you know Janice. She lives up in Vermont. She's a certified Iyengar yoga teacher, but she's a Buddhist, and she has studied and practiced. She practices a great deal of meditation and Buddhist thought. And at the end of every yoga class and every meditation class, she says, may this practice benefit the others. May the benefits of this practice extend to others.
That is a fundamental practice of Buddhism, which I'm a Buddhist too. I mean, I'm not such a big meditator, but this idea that every time you do anything positive, actually, you can dedicate the merit of anything. You cook a beautiful meal, you can dedicate the merit. You plant a beautiful garden, you do your yoga, and at the end you say, whatever flaws this practice has, if it had any benefit, if it had any merit, may every bit of positivity from this practice go toward the enlightenment of every being, that no one will suffer, everyone will be free, everyone will have awakened consciousness. And you really hold that in your heart. And what it does, it helps, number one, I believe it really works, but it helps you be satisfied with your practice. You don't nitpick your practice. It wasn't good enough, I'm limited. No, that's an unlimited thought. So I really believe in that practice. It's called dedication of merit.
That reminds me of the concept in Hinduism of you make everything you do as an offering to whatever deity, that Krishna or whoever you want to offer it to. It's kind of a similar idea, which removes it from yourself and it makes it less, focused on you being separate.
Well, and that circles back to our verse today, that we see the self in all beings. We see, no, that we're not separate. We all have the same inner nature that could be liberated. So,
Right.
I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. I have to go, but I'll see you again. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Barbara.
Barbara.
So good to see you. I love your hair long.
Oh, thank you. Well, I need a haircut.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay. Bye. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well,
So yeah, these are really lovely, both of these that we did today. And I really feel like our spiritual selves suffer so much in the chaos that's around us. And these really speak to our, you know, our spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad this is working. Before we part, well, and of course this relates to Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva. But I really wanted to introduce you to a Shiva chant that we haven't done yet. And no, you don't have the handout yet because I didn't send it to Patty, and that's on purpose. But Elizabeth, I think you have it. It's the Shiva Panchakshari mantra. And I don't want you to, I'll send it on after class and then you can have it. But I'd love to, sometimes in Vedic chant, we just work on, Sonia doesn't give us any papers and she just recites something and we work on our memory and we try to recite back. And of course we all fumble and it's, it's a mess. But this is a chant to Shiva. And Elizabeth and I were observing, of all the deities in the Hindu pantheon, Shiva, I come across more chants to Shiva than to any other deity. It's very interesting. So therefore, I offer more Shiva chants, probably. I will be. Anyway, but this is a Vedic chant, and its formal name is the Shiva Panchakshari Mantraha. So Shiva, and Shiva comes from back in the Vedic times, before Lord Shiva became part of the trilogy. Shiva just simply meant good, auspicious, and it still means that. It means good and auspicious, and it's a good thing. And then it became deified. Pancha means 5. So this is the 5-syllable mantra. Okay, now I get to read it because I don't want to mess it up for you guys. So just, let's see what happens. So go ahead and mute yourselves so you can be nice and loud in your rooms. And listen once. Om Namah Shivaya Cha. So I'll repeat it. Om Namah Shivaya Cha. I'm going to do it one more time. Sorry. You're still chanting. We'll do it one more time and then everybody unmute and we're going to go one by one. Each person gets to do it. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya Cha. Okay. Ready, set, unmute. Now we can all be a gaggle of geese. Cacophony. Patty, would you please chant what we just chanted with the Om?
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Good.
Is that right?
Aaron?
Om Namah Shiva. I don't know the last word. Chata.
The last word is cha, as in cha cha cha. Cha.
Chata.
Cha. C-H-A. Cha.
So I'm still missing a syllable.
Oh.
Om Namah Shiva.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Yacha. Okay. Om Namah Shiva. Shoot, I just can't remember. Chatta. I have the wrong thing in my head. So let the next person go.
Okay, and then we'll come back. Okay. Who's next? Okay, I see Rebecca on the screen.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Yacha. Yacha. Yacha.
Yacha. And Elizabeth?
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
So was that everybody? Did we get everyone? Okay. So Namaha is the first word. So everyone just say Namaha.
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 Oh, that wasn't so bad. I mean, on the computer. And then the next word is Shivaya.
Shivaya.
So there's Lord Shiva, there's Shivaha, and Shivaya. The Aya ending is a dative case ending. So Shivaya literally means to Shiva. So salutation to Shiva. And then the final word at the end is simply cha, as in do the cha-cha-cha, cha. Cha means and. Now, if we count it out, I just counted it, Namah Shivaya Cha, there are 6. So I guess there are 6 syllables. But the actual mantra is Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the pronunciation with like, is it kind of like Om Shanti, 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 where the H goes into the S and it makes like a double S?
You got it. Good.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly. So if we look out, madam.
Rebecca's proud of me. I feel good about
We're
myself.
all proud of you. So if we break it down, Namaha. Everyone say that.
Namaha.
Then we get Shivaya. Say that.
Shivaya.
So now say Namaha Shivaya.
Namaha Shivaya.
Say it again.
Namaha Shivaya.
So that aha in the end of Nama, that's called a Visarga. And when we read it in the transliteration, it's represented with the letter A followed by the H with a dot under it. And you'll see it in the chant that we made. But in Vedic chanting, we have to blend a lot of sounds. So Namaha Shivaya will change to Namah Shivaya, as though there were a double sha. And it is the same. You're absolutely right, Patty. It's the same as Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the Visarga at the end of each Shanti has to be identified with the extra long sh, representing a double sh. It can't be just Shanti Shanti. It has to be Shanti Shanti Shanti. Same thing with Namah Shivaya. So at the end of Nama, we land on the sh, which is second mouth position back in the palate, and then we we jump off of the sh for the second sh. Namah Shivaya. My apologies if your screen gets lots of non-COVID virus sprays on it. So then we get Namah Shivaya. Do that.
Namah Shivaya.
Now this particular chant, as it's presented, they add the cha at the end. So it's Om Namah Shivaya Cha. Just try that all together.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Okay, we'll go one by one. Elizabeth, would you please do it?
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Good. Patty?
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Try to land on the sh a little sooner. Do it
Yeah.
one more time.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Simply namash, namash, as though you were
Namah
saying namash.
Shivaya Cha.
That's it. You want to do it one more time?
Sure. Namah Shivaya Cha.
Okay. Karen, include the om, please.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Okay, listen once. Om Namah Shivaya Cha. So take a breath after om.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
The rhythm was good. Articulate. Namah Shivaya Cha. One more time.
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Good. Rebecca?
Om Namah Shivaya Cha.
Good. Okay. We're coming to the end. It's
I
probably
have to
now. Yeah, I know. You have to go teach
I
now.
have to teach. It's very nice to meet all of you.
Nice to meet you
Yeah.
too, Karen.
Thank you,
I will see
Leslie.
you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you, Karen.
Mhm.
So there's more to this, but I'll well, now you have time for what?
We got the first line.
Yeah, you got the first line. That's all there is. Then it's a matter of breaking it down and doing what we call the krama pataha. See if you just hear me once, see if you know, if you can figure out what's going on. So here's the actual chant is Om Namah Shivaya Cha. That was what we call the Sanghita, or the recitation of the actual chant. Then we do what's known as krama. We will chant the first word and then the second word. Then we'll stop. And then the next phrase will begin with the second word and the third word. So the pattern sounds like this. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Cha. Is that right, Elizabeth?
That's perfect.
I love her. Thank you. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, so you don't get to read yet, so I can't either. Okay, so listen one more time. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Cha. Patty, give it a whirl.
Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Cha.
Perfect. Good. Rebecca?
Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Cha.
Good. Elizabeth?
Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Cha.
That's krama. That's krama. And then we have
Crummy.
what we call a jata, where we chant the first word and then the second word, and then we repeat the second word and then chant the first word, repeat the first word, and end with the second word.
Like one of those hand games you play where you like add on, you know?
Yeah, and it helps to use your fingers. So if I have my thumb at close to the knuckle, that's word number one, and then word number two. So Elizabeth, would you like to demonstrate the jata of this, the whole thing?
Well, I'll try.
Okay.
Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya, Namo Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya, I've lost it.
Shivaya cha-cha.
Shivaya, cha-cha, Shivaya, Shivaya, cha.
That's it. Good.
Wow.
Do it one more time, the whole thing, so we can experience this.
Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya, Namo Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, cha-cha, Shivaya, Shivaya, cha.
Would anybody like to try that?
I don't think I can do it, but I do want to practice it because
Yeah,
it seems fun.
It's fun. It is
Yeah.
kind of fun to do.
Well, now that I've introduced it to you, I'll send the thing.
Okay.
So why is it called? It's called krama. Why is it called krama when you do it
Krama.
like that?
Well, krama, I think we all are more familiar with the parikrama, where we make a promenade around the deity, and the deity's to our right, and we promenade. It's called parikrama, circular krama. But a krama is like a step-by-step thing, krama.
Okay, because there's like in pranayama, there's like udiyana krama. So, and then there's, so I want to know what that word actually is always signifying. Because I feel like it comes up a lot, but I don't completely fully grasp
Right.
what it's supposed to be conveying. Because it's always indicative of some kind of practice, but I don't know exactly what it's trying to indicate.
You say, oh, it's a krama.
Yeah, I'm like, Udiyana Krama, okay. And then it's all over the autobiography of a yogi
Yeah.
by Paramahansa Yogananda. Like he talks about it, and then,
Yeah.
what is it?
I think depending on what we're doing, like in the discipline of Vedic chanting and in the art of Vedic chanting, krama simply means chant one word in a mantra and then chant the second word. And so if the first word is Namah Shivaya cha, or Om Namah Shivaya. So Namaha is the first word, Shivaya is the second word. So the first word being number 1, second word being number 2. But then when we progress, then Shivaya becomes word number 1 and cha becomes word number 2. And the whole reason for doing this was for the sake of preserving the chant, to put it to memory. It's a memorization trick or a memorization tool.
Right.
And Elizabeth and I have learned a lot of chants that involve not only the krama, but after that, the jata and then the ghana.
Wow.
So then and with this one, and so we start with a short one so that it doesn't get too confusing. The Gayatri mantra is done with that also. So the Gayatri sounds like this. Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. But now if I put a jata in there, Om Tat Savitus Savitus Tat Tat Savituhu Savitur Varenyam Varenyagum Savitus Savitur Varenyam Varenyam Bhargo Bhargo Varenyam Varenyam Bhargo Bhargo.
Oh, that's so cool. So it's really a tool. Like, so can it be used in any, or just this kind of it's
used in many chants. We've learned it in several. Certainly the Gayatri, and there's another beautiful chant to the moon. And we learn it from this chant, the Shiva Panchakshari, because it's short and so it's not overwhelming.
Oh, I definitely want, next time I want to write, or I'll try to think about it this week, write that down so I can practice that.
I
What
have it
actually that means. Okay.
I have it in the handout. It's already made.
Okay.
And what I did was, it's 2 pages. It's the same chant on both pages. On one page, you'll see it typed out the way you might mostly encounter it, with the visarga, the H with the dot.
Mhm.
And on the other side, it's the exact same chant, but I've put the S with the dash over it instead of the visarga. You'll see it. So you
Okay.
just take note of the difference. And it might be easier to chant from that side than it will be from the first side, because the sandhis have been done for you.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
Elizabeth, will you chant for us Kayena Vacha?
Okay. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva bhutyatmanava prakrite swabhavat karomi yadyak sakalam parasmai narayanai narayanai. I'm having
Narayana ye.
anxiety. Samarpayami sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All things done, mistakes and otherwise, are dedicated to the
Beautiful.
divine, whether divine wants it or not.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to chant that for the group?
I need to practice that one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Many different melodies can be ascribed to it. We're just using the one that Sonia and Deborah teach us.
Mm.
Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
And there were
much.
just
you.
4.
Thank you.
And then there were 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Many
It's a soothing
thanks.
balm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a
Yes.
lovely evening.
Okay.
Leslie.
You too.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.